Hello.
Hello, Facebook.
We just recorded our commercial. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
A new format.
New
A
format.
little bit of a new format.
We got in trouble. So,
A little bit more serious.
all right. We're going to go live now. Ready? 5.
We're live.
Live. I'm going to start recording. Don't start.
No,
Don't
we're
start.
live.
Yeah, don't start.
But we're
5,
not. Never mind.
5, 4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the Freemasons podcast. I'm your host, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry, and with me tonight,
Worshipful Brother Joe.
Worshipful Brother Ken.
and with us tonight, a member and VP of a Widows Sons chapter, Carlo Gargiulio. How are you?
Did he pronounce that right?
No,
I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't.
I
I butchered it. I
Yeah.
butcher everybody's
You
name.
butcher
Wait
everything.
till we start giving shout outs. I'm going to butcher those too. Go, Carlo Gargiulo.
There you go.
There you go. All right. I was close enough. I ballparked it, as always. Well, before we get started, we got a lot of shout outs, actually. This week's been blowing up with everything. So
Absolutely.
we're going to get right into it. We're going to get fast. You know how to do a Masonic toast?
No.
It's going to
We're
be
gonna
fun.
have to teach you the first
I
time.
have to teach you the first time. So let's go through our shout outs. Tyler Crumley, Eric Steinlicht, D. Bruce, Michael Vincent Veray, Katie Reif, Ryan Shirley, Stacy Ferris, Bill Yost, Daniel Kuhn, who is Mr. Number 300. He is our 300th like.
Thank you, brother.
Definitely going to shout out for him. Rafael Claudio Garza Moyeda.
See, don't
Told
feel
you.
bad.
Yeah,
Trying
he
like, oh, I
butchers
butchered this shit.
everybody's name.
Matthew Butts, Jesse Fisher, Carrie Radford. And I have to apologize. We did not record an episode on Sunday because I started off with a cold and then it turned into bronchitis and then it turned into Ebola. And so I'm still recovering. I told Joe, don't make me laugh too hard because I'll end up puking over here. So
I'd just like to let everybody know that the Freemasons podcast medical team has cleared Right Worshipful Brother George for this episode.
and that was Gideon and I didn't die.
You mean
So,
the guy that was riding his bike while his patient was dying? That
yeah,
guy,
Yes,
that guy
that one,
cleared you.
that guy.
I didn't say, hey, even if you get a D in medical school,
You're still a
Mhm.
doctor.
you're still a doctor.
For Carlo, you don't know who Gideon is. Gideon was actually a guy who came up here, and he's from Amsterdam. He heard the podcast. He was our second listener, and but he was a doctor. He started listening. He is a doctor. He was listening to the podcast while he was riding his bike and not going and saving an 80-year-old lady who didn't make it. So we bust his balls about that.
I don't know that's exactly how the story went. but
That's
yeah, he
how
was
I
gonna
portray
But
it.
we will
gonna
present
visit
it
a
as
stroke.
Present it as fact. But
Like a bicycle?
bicycle, yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
in
Amsterdam.
Holland.
It's like
Yeah.
the size of Rhode Island.
Not a
I mean,
motorcycle.
like a
I know.
Schwinn. He's riding a Schwinn.
So let's toast them. Brethren, right hand to arms.
To arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire. Good fire. Fire all. It's all right. We're waiting for you. Together, brothers. Viva! 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 Not bad.
Still better than Rocco.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Still
a
better
cross
than
between
Rocco.
a
Still better than
table
Rocco.
lodge and grand honors.
Yes.
So it's
We do a little bit in the middle. We're going to get through this quickly, so we're going to do recommendations. And we've had a lot of recommendations on Facebook.
We had like 3 yesterday.
We did. Let's see here. Eric Charles Rice recommends the Freemasons podcast. You guys are awesome. Love the podcast and hope you keep them coming. We will. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, Lodge 1341 and was initiated July 22nd. I passed my EA proficiency on August 26th, and my lodge was shocked when I decided to give my work back all at once. That's awesome. Wondered if other states allow lodges to break up their work into 3 sections like Texas. My great-grandfather was a Mason, and I wanted to do like he did it, the old-fashioned way. I hope he is proud. Keep up the amazing work, brothers, and Semper Fi, Devil Dog. Hoorah. Hoorah. Glad to have you, brother.
Hooah!
Let's move to the next one.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
I did the hooah.
Hooah's
No,
Army.
It's Army.
Yeah, I was going more like
think you're allowed to
Al
do that
Pacino in Scent of a Woman. That's what I was going. Hooah!
Fair enough.
Matthew Butts recommends the Freemasons podcast. These guys are hilarious and informative at the same time. Finally, a podcast you could sink your teeth into, all while laughing your butt off. Men on the level and really using their squares. Jesse Fisher, very interesting and fun. I listen almost every day. And that's the ones we got.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, brothers.
Jesse Fisher actually added a little extra in the comments on his recommendation,
Continue.
if I may.
Yes, you may.
He replied back to us after we thanked him. He said, I'm going to visit my local lodge here in Tampa, and I have a much better idea of what the Masons are about and how much fun it can be because of the podcast. I emailed the secretary, and they invited me to dinner on the 10th. I am excited to visit with them and petition.
Awesome.
We also have an Apple iTunes review, a 5-star review. Outstanding. Big Daddy Woo Woo 101.
Whoa.
I think that's better than Joe Normus.
Shout out to Big Daddy Woo Woo.
Is that a wrestling reference?
Oh, that's freaking great.
I know Big Daddy Cool, and I know Ric Flair goes, woo.
That's hysterical. After recently becoming an EA, I actually stumbled across this podcast. These guys are very informative, a bunch of pranksters. Damn right we are. This is my new favorite podcast. Keep on keeping on, brothers. I think
Was that from Big Daddy Woo Woo?
that was from Big Daddy
So
Woo Woo.
brother Big Daddy Woo Woo.
Brother Big Daddy Woo Woo.
Okay.
And he said, keep on keeping on, brothers. I'm assuming he just meant keep doing the work. Then again, spell check is also my enemy as well. So, but let's toast him. Ready for this one?
No, I don't have anything.
You don't got anything.
What did you fill it with before?
Ken. Or
Brief interlude.
oh, if you want Gatorade, I got Gatorade. It's purple. It's like that absinthe.
Give him some of that Dickel stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give him the Dickel.
I don't want anybody's tickle.
It's actually a whiskey that was given to us by a listener of the podcast.
I got more.
So
I'll have a little bit.
Pick your poison.
pick your poison.
Oh. Who was Jerison? Big Daddy Woo Woo?
Big Daddy Woo Woo.
Brother.
All of them.
Brother,
Big
Big
Daddy.
Daddy.
Brother Big Daddy Woo Woo. And actually, everybody who recommended the podcast on Facebook and Apple, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brethren. Actually, you know what, Joe? Lead it.
Brethren, right hand arms.
Arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire, good fire, fire all. Together, brothers.
Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Beautiful.
Hey, you picked that one up. Good job.
See? Once you get a little bit of it in you, it tends to get easier. It's like
It's not-
bowling,
gotta stick
pool,
together.
darts,
What?
spelunking.
Spelunking, like cave dwelling? Is that what
Every
you're
time you
doing?
get something in you, things get easier when you get a little bit of.
Whoa.
I don't get it. So cave exploration gets easier as you drink.
Get deeper
Yes.
into the cave.
No, I think
Yes.
he's referring to pronouncing it.
okay. All
I
right.
think
know
he's
what
just
I'm
happy
saying.
he can say spelunking.
I'm not on the ball tonight. Sorry.
All right. So.
Wait, just quick question.
Mhm.
Carlos goatee, I'm admiring from here.
Thank you.
It's got a little ginger in it, doesn't
It
it?
does appear to be a little
Does
bit red.
appear
yes.
to be have two redheads up here.
No,
All
I
right.
just have a red beard. I still have a soul.
Fair point.
that all?
He said I still have a soul.
Is it just the beard that's red?
I have to apologize for everybody. If I'm coughing, I'm still freaking. I'm still fighting this thing. It's pretty much over with. I don't have Ebola anymore. No one's going to get contagion.
Botulism.
I put
But-
hot sauce in your inhaler.
But yes, I am the outbreak monkey. I am the outbreak
Oh,
monkey.
you're patient zero.
I'm patient zero. So
Well, you're actually like patient like negative 0.5 because you're like small.
Typhoid George.
Less than zero. Like Robert Downey Jr. and less than zero. Somebody will get that reference.
I also want to add, while we're on the subject of ball busting, if you're on Discord, you got slayed today.
You know what? Here's what I don't. I'm calling integrity on that. I'm calling integrity
Okay.
because I'm getting slammed by Puppet George.
Puppet George has made an appearance. He is now on Discord, and he let everyone have it for a while there. I
He
called
did.
it. Ken had it. You got it. Like, but he definitely took a shot at you today.
But here's the mystery.
But I had to follow up on the podcast page. So
But I am the voice of Puppet George.
Right.
So that means somebody hacked our account as Puppet George, who's now ridiculing all of us. And
Nobody hacked them. We've had this discussion.
I know. I'm trying to create this whole image here, and you just freaking ruined it.
No, I didn't ruin anything.
I was trying to put a little production value.
It's not like we have anyone on the show who's a software engineer or anything.
Sorry.
But it would have been a better story if
Impossible.
somebody hacked it as Puppet George, and you just ruined it. You ruined
Maybe Puppet George himself hacked it.
it. Does Puppet George have a soul?
Yeah, he
Okay.
does. More so than a redhead. Moving. All right.
The monks said I had a soul. When I went to the monks, they said I had a soul.
All right. So join Patreon. Patreon, we have a lot of fun on Discord. A lot of good information as well. Let's see here. And just going to plug all of our other pages. Just go on them. Freemasons Podcast. We're everywhere. All right. So we're going to move on to, before we get into the Widows Sons, the last thing we got to cover is George Washington's Rules for Freemason and Life in Lodge. Last thing we covered was let thy ceremonies and courtesy be proper to the dignity of his place of whom thou converses, for it is observed to act the same with a clown and a prince. I think we pretty much easy enough. You know, be careful with your company, you know.
Yeah, too late for that.
Number 66, be not forward but friendly and courteous, the first to salute, hear and answer, and be not pensive. Is that a word?
Yes, pensive is a word.
Okay. I had to look at it twice. I'm just going to be
It
honest.
means thoughtful.
Okay. When it's time to converse. That is to say, when meeting old friends or making new ones, remain calm and kind. Be the first to welcome them. Let them speak first and give cheerful replies to their questions. Simple enough.
Sure.
I think it's easy.
Think we can do that?
I think we can do that. Shot collar's still blinking.
I believe we have
Never turns
a
off.
special guest watching us
Oh,
this evening as I'm watching Facebook Live.
oh boy.
True.
Scared.
A woman, I won't mention her last name, but a woman named Dawn mentioned that someone's father is watching.
Yeah. Mom and Dad. They're on there. Awesome.
Now
Glad
they're-
you guys are watching.
They're full size, right?
Oh, you fucker. No, my dad.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were going to clean up the show since his parents were watching.
Yeah,
No,
probably
it's
not. No.
Okay.
If I'd known that, we would have put the puppet away. I'm sorry.
Mom and Dad know exactly what I'm all about. So,
I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Mom and Dad.
all right. So we're gonna get into the Widows Sons. So let's talk about it. First thing I'm gonna ask you, Carlo, is what got you into Freemasonry?
Good friend of mine actually got me into Freemasonry.
Mhm.
You know, just something that came up in conversation one day, and he said, I'm a Freemason.
Right.
And it kind of just took off from there.
What is your mother lodge?
Stratford, daytime 144.
Okay, Stratford Lodge. I thought it was. I knew it was somewhere down there and everything, but so you got into Freemasonry. Showed you the door. Obviously, you got in.
Yeah.
When the officers thing came up, did you end up taking an officer position or
Yeah, I was junior steward
junior steward?
and senior steward.
Mhm.
So,
You still active as an officer, or are you kind of bowed out of the
yeah,
line?
but it's a daytime lodge, and I work during the day now, so it's hard for me to get there.
Right.
So,
So you ended up joining the Widows Sons. Tell me how that came up in conversation. Were you into bikes prior to joining Widows Sons?
yes, I've been riding pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
Dirt bikes, everything.
Right.
You know, ended up a buddy of mine down in Stratford he's still a widow's son, and I asked him how do I get in contact with these guys.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes it's a little hard to find them
Right.
because they had multiple chapters around the state and consolidated all into one, and it's now in Berlin.
Right.
Now there's 2 chapters in the state. We're more on this side, and then they're still up in Berlin.
Right.
So
So the requirements. What are the requirements to be a Widow's Son?
you have to be a master mason.
Okay.
You have to ride a bike bigger than 500 cc's. Yeah, it depends on, I guess, the person really.
Right.
You know, you want quality guys, solid guys.
Right.
So I can't join with like my Honda Elite scooter.
No, you're out.
That's not that. No.
You're out.
Okay.
We don't lap gingers anyway.
Dude, you got ginger all over your chin.
Now let me.
And I'm
just,
not talking about your beard. But that's a different story.
Let me just say. Let me just say. When you said it had to be bigger than 500 cc's, the first thing that flashed into my head was Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
Jeff Daniels, him on the moped. First thing that flashed in my head.
Yeah, those guys.
Joe on a moped, just it's Jeff Daniels. So
Yeah.
again, I apologize for the cough.
I'm the tall one.
Yeah. All right. So, is there any type of ritual type thing that you have to go through? Like, is there like another degree, so to speak, for Widows Sons? You don't have to get into detail. We never ask you to get into detail, but there is some sort of a ritualistic thing that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is it same as a Blue Lodge where you have to petition, you have to be accepted, all that voting, pretty much all the same
It's
thing?
more or less kind of more towards an MC.
Right.
You know, you gotta hang around, you gotta petition,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta,
Earn your keep.
Yeah.
Basically. It's like being on this freaking podcast.
Yeah.
This is why Jack
Yeah.
gets ridiculed all the time.
That's
Right.
why I was washing all of these cannons before the show earlier today.
That's because me and Joe got stuck in the traffic. You don't have to
Yeah.
earn your keep.
No.
However, if Dan Shark
We're
just
just
comes
good
up here with a
brothers, that's all.
cucumber ever again,
Yeah.
if he comes up here with his diet cucumber ever again,
Then he's out.
At least I brought meat on a stick
you did pretty.
and I shared it.
You did. It was really good, actually.
Real food.
I think it was some kind of meat, allegedly chicken, but I can't confirm that.
Nah, pigeon, whatever. It's all the same. So once you're into the Widow Sons, now obviously in Blue Lodges we have officers. You know, we've already had the episode over officers and everything like
Right.
that. What are the officers of a Widow Sons?
Same as an MC,
Okay.
road captain. Actually, we have two: vice president, president,
Mm.
treasurer, secretary, all that stuff.
So it's basically follows the same guidelines as an MC.
Yeah.
And I guess my other question is, it is recognized by Grand Lodge, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
As a Masonic club.
as a Masonic lodge,
No, it's not a lodge. It's
Oh,
just,
but-
it's a whole separate thing.
a pending body, sort of, kind of.
No,
No,
not even
okay.
a pending body.
All right. So, but it is a.
It's just a motorcycle club consisting of Masons.
Oh, okay. All right. So
That's the only way in which they recognize them. It's not like you get an invite to Grand Lodge and you get to
No,
do the processional with all the other appendant
No.
bodies or everything.
Usually,
Okay, got it.
the best part of this whole thing is we're talking about this, but I'm watching the live feed
Yeah.
on live, and here's Joe.
And I'm
Just
taking flack already.
Yeah.
I'm taking flack on the live.
Joe's
feed.
getting just lambasted on the live feed. And it's
You
hysterical.
know
well,
what?
should.
That's fine.
And he's actually defending himself. For the record, I went and lived with monks for a week, and they confirmed I do have a soul. So Joe is actually, poor Joe's over here defending himself. It's funny. You should just shut your phone down and just.
No, this is great.
Oh
So,
yeah,
my
the three
cousin
of us will
Amanda
talk.
started watching. Hi,
Oh,
Amanda.
man. It is funny.
My friend Susan is watching. Hi, Susan.
All right. So let's talk about the motorcycle club and what it does. Particularly, obviously, Widow Sons we're talking about. You guys do a lot of charity things, correct?
Yeah.
Let's go over some of the things you do.
We pretty much just contribute to
Contribute
all
to
the Masonic charities and things like that.
all right. No events or so to speak.
Different states do.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
haven't done one here.
I'm talking
yet.
about as Widow Son as a whole. I'm not just talking about the state of Connecticut. So
Oh, yeah. They have rallies and all kinds of things.
rallies and everything where they raise money for charity and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Massachusetts just did the Thunder in the Valley.
Mhm.
They raised a bunch of money for the Shriners Hospital and all that.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So
There's no like patron charities that you guys regularly contribute to or anything like that?
wherever.
Or there's just, it's whatever,
Yeah, it's
whatever
wherever we
Masonic
kinda-
charity you feel.
It's like our Blue Lodge Council who
Cool.
just decides, oh, throw
Yeah.
some money at this charity for
Yeah,
this.
pretty
you know,
much.
Well,
this
it's
year.
not quite that arbitrary, but yeah, I mean, like, when I say like a patron charity, I mean like the Shrine has the Shriners Hospital.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Scottish Rite has the Dyslexia Learning Center.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just-
we don't have anything like that. We just kind of contribute to everything.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that.
A lot of them do the Shriners Hospital. It's pretty
Yeah, that's
All right.
one of the
So
best.
Joseph Schultz brings up the first question for you.
great.
Do 1%ers give you any trouble?
No.
Why is that? Is it?
We're Masons and they know what we're about.
Okay. So
what's a 1%er, just to clarify, because I don't know.
1%er is the criminal element.
Motorcycle club groups.
Oh, okay. The 1% of motorcycle groups that comprise people that commit crimes. Okay.
Correct. And that's pretty much, is it something that it has to be like discussed? Like you have to say, hey, listen, we're not a threat to anything you're trying to do, or it's just no.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
We don't get any problems
right.
with anybody. In fact, we're actually really accepted amongst the community.
Right. That's awesome. And I didn't think that
There's been instances where they've invited us places.
I mean, not for nothing. You have the square and compass right on your cut.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you know what masonry is about, and not the Carly Franz version, and I'll tell you about her later, or the Alex Jones version of Freemasonry. Like if you really, these guys know what Freemasonry is about, charitable and all that stuff. When you see it on a cut, regardless, they're gonna know like, oh, this guy's not. He's.
Yeah.
There's no threat.
There's no threat.
Right.
Like they're just doing their thing.
We're just riding.
Right.
Riding and donating money. We don't earn.
Right.
In some other ways.
Well, you are a 501(c)(3), right?
Yes.
Which is a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So it's not like you guys are, doing what you see on like Sons of Anarchy or anything like that.
Right.
So, with that being said, so let's get into this type of conversation. Again, we've said it before. We caught some flack here on the podcast, so we're not much different. Than the Widows Sons. We've caught some shit. For
other than we don't have motorcycles.
Time out.
Go ahead.
So you're comparing us, a bunch of schlubs that come up here in Seymour, Connecticut, and record a podcast.
Who are you calling
to a motorcycle club?
I'm comparing it in the fact of that
a worldwide motorcycle club.
I'm comparing it in the fact
our podcast goes worldwide.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Get out.
Don't degrade us.
I just don't think I'm that cool.
We do.
I'm comparing it in the fact of
for sale.
Really? Oh, we got to talk
like
later.
Schwinn?
No.
He's more of a mountain bike kind of guy.
No. I could ride a motorcycle.
Like a razor scooter?
No,
like a motorized one of those?
Scooter's about as far as I go. Whatever. We'll discuss what's involved in this transaction later on. Ignore these bastards.
I'd hate to see a picture on the community page of worshipful brother Ken riding a little girl's bike with
we're right back. We're
a
right back
basket on it. I'd hate to see somebody post that.
Yeah, that would be so sad.
With the little tassels on the handlebars.
All right. I'm comparing it in the fact of that, not so much as grand scale. Like, obviously, Widows Sons is way bigger than our little podcast here. I'm comparing it in the fact of that grand lodges, or, and again, I'm not speaking for any grand lodge, and I'm just talking as we're a bunch of Masons up here talking. But they don't, we have a mainstream ideology of where Freemasonry should be. And then when you get branches of like Widow Sons that does something different, or podcasts that do something different, or something like that, you catch a little bit of shit. And that's what I'm comparing it to.
Yep.
Right.
So in that respect, I'm saying that I'm comparing it. That
I know. I was just giving you go.
I know.
We are the rough around.
Well, no, I'm glad you did though, because you know what?
Yes.
I'm clarifying what I'm driving at.
We are the rough around the edges.
We are the rough around the edges. We're
the
breaking up.
ashlars, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
We're the rough ashlar in the work of becoming.
Yes. As all Masons are.
But I'm bringing the point up that does the Widow Sons catch a little bit of obviously they're they're fringing.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that are pointed out that you can say that Masons the grumpy past master will be like, wah! What's the stickler points?
The image.
The image. Okay.
Patches, leather, bikes.
You'll catch on quick that I'm driving to a point here.
Yeah.
So patches, leather, and all that stuff.
Parties.
And, one parties and all stuff. But, you're not doing anything that's outside of the bounds of, say, that you would violate a Masonic oath, so to speak. So, right, nothing that, Ken or Joe is not going to do on Labor Day, shoot off fireworks and dress up in the American flag or what. I don't even know what you do.
Do you really want to know?
No, I don't. the point that I'm trying to make.
Whatever debauchery Joe may or may not get into on Labor Day, I can assure you he's not going to violate any Masonic obligations in the process.
Did buy a tripod.
Except for that.
Don't start that, please. We'll tell you later. Not on this. Not while we're live. It's Joe just being Joe.
Sorry.
So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, and we were talking prior to, is that, Grand Lodge is concerned about the image. I'm also concerned about the image, and I don't want Freemasonry to get the image, or I don't want people to get the image of Freemasonry that we're devil worshippers, or, or the other thing is it's been put to me, and again, I'm not saying anything derogatory against the craft or any one in particular brother, but it's been put to me that, oh, you're a Freemason? I thought that was a group of old guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So my whole thing is well, what are we doing?
Or it's just a drinking club,
It's
like the Elks. There's that image.
the Shriners, the Shriners have their own bar, but yes,
I mean,
and
like any other social organization you could think of. Yeah, not.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I did not know
The
this.
Shriner and Scotch, right?
Oh. I took a different way.
Nice.
We've been over that 1,000 times.
So do you have like one of those little motorcycles for the
I
motorcycle?
do not.
Oh.
I actually do have one, but it's personal. It's not a Shriner.
Do you ever want to get into motor pool?
No.
I think you should show up
Not at
at a
all.
Widows Sons with the Shriner bike.
I'm vice president, man. I'm gonna get kicked out.
Yeah, you got an image to look after there, man.
Yeah.
Reputation to
We're
uphold.
just talking about the whole image.
Right. So while we're talking about this image thing, I'm bringing this up because again, you'll notice I drive to a point here, and we had been talking prior to going live and prior to recording everything that back in the what was it? When was the movie come out? Fast and the Furious. When that come out? The 90s.
2000.
First one, yeah, it was
First
right
was
around
2000?
there. Yeah.
Movie Fast and the Furious came out. Everybody went out and bought an Acura Integra or a Honda Civic, and they threw the grapefruit shooter in the back of the car, and they're all driving around town with the intakes.
Or they bought a 70s muscle car like I did.
You were the counter.
I was the
You were the
1%.
You were the 1%.
I was
Does that
there
make you the
That
Rock?
guy.
rolling up my
You're like The
T-shirt
Rock?
sleeves with my cigarettes in them.
Yeah.
It's more like the Pebble.
Right.
Were you watching Grease?
No, I just didn't understand what the muscle car image was all about at the time.
Joe,
Don't
please
judge me,
don't
Carla.
Start with the grease comment. I have my sleeves
Bounty
rolled
bounty
up.
hunter
It's
degrees?
Yeah, bounty hunter
Yeah.
degrees. Here we go.
You strike me more as a Kaneki kind of guy. You're no Zuko.
I'm trying
Danny
really
Zuko.
hard
You're
not to
Kaneki.
laugh. I'm trying really hard not to laugh, so I don't go into a full-on.
You know what they
cough.
say? A hickey
Doc-
from
Dr.
Kaneki's like
Gideon
a
did-
Hallmark card.
Dr. Gideon did indicate that we should not make Right Worshipful Brother George laugh tonight.
I'm trying. No, that's all right. Continue up the jokes. It's fine. I'm trying myself. It's a control thing. But anyway, back on my point. Fast and Furious came out. Everybody put an exhaust on the back of their car. They put the air tape. And they're zipping around town in their little lawnmower cars or whatever. Sons of Anarchy came out, and everybody all of a sudden wanted to be a biker. Put on the cut. They wanted to ride around and everything. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, Freemasonry, has to follow the pop culture of the time. And I think it's a good thing that we give an outlet to these things. Widows Sons, in my opinion, falls perfectly into that. Because if somebody wants to join the whole biker, I guess it's a community, right? It's a biker community, but doesn't want to join something that is part of the criminal aspect of it. The 1%ers, Widows Sons is a perfect shot. You could become a Freemason, join Widows Sons, no criminal activity. You get to ride around. You get to wear the image. You get to wear the cut.
And that group's
Raise
full of
some money for
brothers.
charity.
Raise some money for charity and do something good with it.
Right.
So that is my personal opinion on the whole view on it, because I'm a firm believer that if Freemasonry doesn't allow these avenues of change and catch up with the times, we are going to die. So I like the whole Widow Sons image, and I think it's really cool. And I'm not opposed to them wearing their cuts in lodges and all that stuff. And let's talk about that. You came up here, did not wear your cut. Tell me why.
Well, we just don't wear them in lodge buildings at all, just as a rule. So we don't
Is it
ruffle any feathers.
Is it ruffling feathers or a respect thing for the lodge? Because you said we don't wear it in lodge. You don't even come into a lodge building wearing the cut.
No.
I told you, I'm like, where the hell's your cut?
Yeah. Well,
Is the cut an earned thing?
yes.
You have to earn it before you wear it. So you have the prospect. They get to run around and they clean the dishes and do all that stuff, right? Whatever. Clean the bikes. Yeah. Your face made me laugh. Sorry. It's just because I'm like, I know there's more to it than that. It was some definite hazing going on. So
can I ask a quick question? I'm curious, Brother Carlo.
Were
you interested in motorcycles before Sons of Anarchy came out?
Yes.
Awesome.
I've always had a bike.
Cool.
Okay.
Just curious about that because he said, all these bikers,
and I never had
after
Park Can Honda.
Okay. All right.
For the record.
So you're not a man that follows convention. You go your own way.
Joseph Schultz says we catch a lot of problems here in Delaware. But then
with
again,
the 1%ers, I think he was.
Yes.
Well, here we go. No, wait. There's more.
It gets funnier. Joseph. Then he writes, but then Delaware is a hateful state like Joe's soul.
But I have one.
But it's a hateful.
He has one. It's just a black soul.
And I'm getting ridiculed by a guy named Butts. That's the funny thing about this.
Matthew Butts.
Evil soul.
While being a widow's son, what has been your favorite experience with the organization so far?
The close brotherhood.
Close brotherhood.
It's tighter than Masonry.
Wow.
In my opinion.
That's saying something.
That's saying something, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Donnie Matichek, you know him.
I'm bad with names.
Matt Matichek.
It's a member of.
So what is his name?
Fairfield public servant.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was going to come up here, but he said he had a long day at work, so he couldn't. So I'm trying to find another question.
Can
Joseph
I
Schultz.
hit the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna actually. What are we at here? Let's see what time we're running at here. Yeah, we're at 31 minutes. We're actually going to pause this in a minute.
Intermission anyway.
Just
do I get to sing?
Two things. You can do whatever you want. Joseph Schultz said
some requests for songs during the intermission.
Joseph Schultz says George is doing pretty good for only having one lung. Very nice.
Sons of Anarchy,
which is like the size of half of my lung. If you're small.
Oh man. Peter Daigle says I missed the beginning of the podcast. Is Widow's Sons an appendant of Masonry or just a bike club for Masons?
It's a bike club.
It's a bike club for Masons. So it's not an official appending body and all that stuff.
Correct.
But it's a bike club. So all right, we're gonna keep the live feed going. We're gonna pause and we're gonna plug our commercial. It's a little bit different format. We got in trouble, so you'll understand when you hear the commercial. So we'll be back. All right.
Wow, somebody just said before Sons of Anarchy.
Carlo rode a Vespa.
I might have.
Oh. He says he might have. Fire in the questions, brothers.
What am I hearing your mic through? Like it's coming through
headphones.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah, Ken told me about that.
He's got it like 3,000 decibels because his ass is deaf.
I am.
So while the commercial's playing, may I give a shout out on Facebook Live to somebody? Got one of our listeners.
You can ask permission.
Well, because it's my show.
No, it's everyone's show.
No, but somebody deserves a special shout out. One of our listeners, her name is Susan. You all know Susan. Actually took first place at Spartan Race in West Point this weekend.
Oh wow!
And not the open group, like her group.
Awesome.
So, and she actually came in second on Saturday and said, screw this, I'm running again on Sunday, and came back and took first place on Sunday.
Wow. Congratulations, Susan. You're in much better shape than all of us.
Yeah, she's pretty badass when it comes to that. So she's actually training me for my Rugged Maniac race that I'm doing at the end of September.
If you listeners got any questions for Carlo about the Widow's Sons, now's the time. Fire your questions in. We'll read them when we come back.
Or if you have any musical requests, I will do a little song or so.
Quiet Whisper.
Oh, you want Careless Whisper? I can do that. Oh, please, hold on.
I got a question. Have you ever rode around with a glow-in-the-dark dildo on your fender?
That may have happened.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Don't worry, Puppet George has some questions that he's preparing for Carlo. That's why I took the pen and paper out. But I do have a fantasy draft at 8 o'clock that I have to hop on for.
What time is it?
We also.
7-11.
We'll have enough time. George may or may not have.
I feel so unsure.
Try to scare people that came up to
as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. The music dies. Something in your eyes calls to mind the silver screen and all its sad goodbye. Never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. George, you're such a fool. Should have known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I've been given.
I'm pretty sure on.
You're stepping over my song.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
We talked about this.
Pretty sure. I think I compared you on Discord to Judas Iscariot today.
Yes, who is portrayed as a ginger in many paintings I happen to see. They're like
So I said,
commonly
you're going to turn me in for a lifetime membership.
Yeah, and I already have. Turn you in for lifetime dues.
And then Puppet George, he fired back.
Oh wow! I just made Joe Schultz weak in the knees. That's good. Now that you're about George's height.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm sorry. Your dad's watching too. I should lay off.
No.
Sorry, Mr. George's dad.
He's probably laughed his ass off at Mr. George's dad.
Well, I don't want to give his name out.
Same name as me.
Well, not everybody knows that.
My
What?
Facebook page says George Angel Mudger the Fifth. So
Well, you know what? I'm trying to be respectful.
wow. Yeah, looking at Carly Franz is a
Should have known better than to cheat a friend.
evil and
I'm gonna go
child
second
trafficking and
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
babysitting.
That's funny.
Time could never mend.
You gotta stop.
Careless whisper. Oh,
We need to come up with another break segment other than Joe just singing over here.
Now I'm weak in the knees.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I can't believe I have the vapors.
I can't deal with you. I really can't.
What? You throw the song on,
Oh my god, I can't
give it
deal
to your
with
little lady friend. You just go, No? Okay.
Paul says he's making my dogs howl.
You know what?
Oh my god.
I'm not feeling the brotherly love.
Peter, good question. We'll get into that. I'm hoping Carlo knows. Could you please? I feel like this is elevator music. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm in an
It
elevator
is.
right now.
It's love music.
Oh my god.
See, Joe Schultz. Damn.
Yeah, he also said George, hang in there, little buddy. What? All right.
That's it. Musical
As soon
interlude.
as
Comer?
Ken comes back from his little pee-pee break, we'll get
Alright.
fired up again. Joe, did you get the bottle over there? Could you give me just a little
I
bit more?
can if you're nice to me.
I am always nice to you.
No, you're not. But I'm gonna pour you a drink.
I'm always nice to you. And again, I want to apologize for everybody listening to my coughing and my
I
noises.
thought you were gonna apologize for my singing.
No, not your singing. I'm more worried about my lungs are just brutal today.
Telling you, man. If I were you, I would hitch your wagon to this gravy train right now.
All right. So we're gonna fire it back
Give us
up
something extra for our listeners.
while Ken's in the crapper. We're gonna fire it back up.
Dropping a deuce.
No, he's right there.
He pinched it quick.
You done dropping a deuce in there, Ken?
Didn't upper decker.
Oh god,
That's just raw. That's
that's
just
just foul.
that should be against the law. At least against Masonic
No, I'm gonna have to
law.
change their damn door code again.
It should be against Masonic law.
It should be. That's a punishable offense
It's something I could see.
Well, in
Brother
the lodge,
Phil.
yeah.
in the law. Just a
That's
punishable
why I could see
offense.
Brother Phil doing something like
Yeah.
that.
Let's I'm changing the door code.
Or Steve, Brother Steve.
I'm
probably
changing
do
the door
I
code.
changed the door code again.
Yeah, if somebody's gonna leave an upper decker,
something.
damn
Carlos
right I'm
talking
going
about
to.
hitting an
Okay.
upper decker.
All right, ready? 5,
Yes.
4, 3, 2. We are back, And we're going to get into some questions here. Peter Daigle states, what is the history of the Widows Sons?
That is a good question.
Do you know what
back before me?
Yeah, you don't know anything of the history of the Widows Sons, huh?
Not a lot.
Yeah, it's is it fair? When was it basically started? Do you know?
Like 98.
Oh, so it's fairly new.
Yeah.
He also writes, do all Grand Lodge? Joseph Schultz writes, do all Grand Lodges recognize the Widows Sons?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know about all Grand Lodges.
What is our Grand Lodge? Do they recognize or do they accept or
They know of us,
right? So I think that's something that varies from Grandmaster to Grandmaster.
Yes, it is.
Some like, some don't. Probably going to be similar to this podcast. Some may like, some may not.
Right.
I've got a little bit on the history of the Widows
Okay,
Sons.
fire away, Ken.
I just because I
It all
googled
depends
it.
on what
I know.
website you're getting.
I'm not an expert.
That's why we have another.
Oh, this is from the Widows Sons
But
website.
there's
So,
two. That's a long story. And
widowssons.com.
I'm not sure.
Clandestine.
Fire away.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, let me see if the date matches up with what you said. It was 1998, right? So let's see here. All right, looks legit. The logo and concept of the Widows Sons International Motorcycle Association, which is the name of the club, right? Was conceived by brother Carl Davenport from Chicago, Illinois. No? Okay, never mind.
Do you know who it was?
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Not Carl Davenport.
It's
Wow, this
something I really
Seems like a point of
is
contention.
a sordid
But
history here.
he doesn't want to talk.
All right.
about it.
Matthew Butts asks, how often do you guys meet?
we just kind of get together whenever.
So that's
It's usually once a month,
once a month.
but we get together every chance we can to go for a ride. And
Right.
last Sunday we went up to Vermont for lunch.
Nice.
It was nice.
But the official meetings are only once a month.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like us. We pretty much come in here. We're brothers. We meet. We're hanging out here.
Now, do you do a ride once a month, or is it just to get together to
It's either
vote
get together
and do
or-
all the
A lot
normal
of times we do a
business?
ride like every weekend.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, we try.
Cool.
All right. So I'm trying to think of how to word this.
Is it actually true that you rode a Vespa before your car?
I did not have a Vespa. I did have a moped at one point.
Okay. You know what they say about those?
Mopeds?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it's appropriate.
All right.
It's
Puppet George will
He'll ask him.
he'll ask that later.
All right. Yeah, you're being interviewed by Puppet George later, so
great.
It'll
Yeah.
make sense. Trust me.
good luck. He's a jerk. All right. So one of the other are Widow Sons that the ones that you know of. Again, I know you don't know all Widow Sons. It's a relatively large thing, but the main issue has been the image. Is that something that the Widow Sons are concerned about? Like, is it something like we don't care about our image? You're going to deal with it, and that's that, or is it because again, somebody brought a point to me, and we talked about it already, off live, but the image was quite simple. Was that if you took a Hell's Angel, an outlaw, what's the Christian one, the Riding Knights of Christ or something like that.
Something like that.
And then the Widow Sons, and you put them all together, no one's going to know what the 1% is. And you were saying you had said something about. Go ahead. About how other organizations actually contain Masons.
Yeah. I've met Hell's Angels that were Masons.
Right. And
So it's
just
not
because
the exterior qualities of a man. It's the
right.
inner.
Absolutely. And it's also your conduct. And just because you're a member of another motorcycle club, even if you're not part of Widow Sons and you're part of, let's just throw out Hell's Angels, for instance, doesn't necessarily mean you are a criminal.
Right.
It just means you're part of a motorcycle club.
Correct.
And there's, I imagine
enthusiasts.
motorcycle, enthusiasts. And, even more so than that, I don't think that all organizations force certain people to do negative or 1%, dealings. You just be part of the club.
Right.
So it's, the whole thing with this whole image thing, it's kind of bothersome because, that was one of the things that was, was put to me in this podcast. Well, what image are you portraying?
The image of a Mason.
The image of a Mason that I'm not, why? Because I'm up here and I'm having a beer or, doing a toast, and doing good things with a modern technology or a modern look. Like, so I kind of understand from the Widow Son. I'm more of a pro Widow Sons image type thing. Like you join Freemasonry because of your inner qualities and that stuff. It shouldn't matter what you belong to on the outside.
Well, it's just because we wear some leather doesn't mean we're bad people.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Oh my
We
God.
might get a little rowdy, but
It's the interior qualifications of a man.
I don't like this laugh.
Don't do it.
I
We're
saw
gonna
it
do
too.
that.
I saw it too. We can't say it.
Yeah, I can't say that out loud.
We could do that on
Yes, you can.
the Patreon
No,
interview,
I
right?
can't.
That's what I chose not to say. Just so
Yeah, that was a good one though. I will say that was
practicing discretion here. You should be proud of me.
that was a very good one. But yeah, I can't say that.
That's the road captain.
I'm gonna rework it a little.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That was a good one. But again, I got to be careful for.
Hello there, brother
That's what
road
Patreon's
captain.
for.
Hello, brother road captain, and
We salute you, brother road captain.
and I'm also trying my damnedest not to laugh. I'm really trying. It's hard, but
You want me to get your inhaler
You
for you?
don't want to laugh.
I already took a whack off the
That guy
inhaler.
says.
I'm on a Z pack and I'm an inhaler, and
Should I just block him now?
No,
I
don't
ibuprofen
don't
and-
do that.
so that's all I pretty much have for questions right now. But you got anything else you want to add? Well, you got the floor. It's yours. Anything you want to add to? What kind of bike you ride?
I have two bikes. I have
Yeah, you were trying to
Street
sell
Glide?
me one 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
but
I got a 2012 Street Glide and an 89 FXR.
right. And you've come to our car shows almost
I
every
took
year,
the
right?
FXR.
Yeah. And you put them in the show.
I got there late the last time.
Right. I remember you showed up late, but yeah,
I win a lot of trophies with that bike.
it's a nice bike.
It is a nice bike.
Which one? That's the green one,
Green
right?
one, yeah.
The green one. I actually like the one you got downstairs. I see now. That's pretty nice. It's all black and everything.
I have a quick question for you, Carlos. So if I'm a Mason and I am a motorcycle enthusiast, now I'm asking for a friend, obviously, because I don't have a motorcycle
Not
yet
yet.
until you sell me the one that
Yeah.
you've got for sale. But if I'm a Mason and I want to know more about the Widows Sons, or I want to join the organization or talk to, meet some of the brothers that are members of that organization, what would I do? What would be my best
You
bet?
could probably contact me.
Okay.
Directly or Brian Adams.
Okay.
Seriously.
Depending on what part of the state you live in.
Oh, there we go.
Brian Adams.
Oh, we have
No,
listeners from
no.
all over the world, and this is an international
Yeah,
organization,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So is there like a website or something that
Their-
you can go
each
to?
state's different.
Okay.
So
So you-
kind of
He's more secretive than illustrious brother Jack. Like he's avoiding,
state
he's
is
dodging
different.
questions.
But
I'm
that's
not dodging anything.
listen.
well, it's like Blue Lodge Masonry. Every state in the U.S. anyway has its own grand jurisdiction, its own
We've
grand
ducked
lodge.
Join in Mexico. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
We've ducked questions though, like not ducked them, but we've beat around the bush a little about things what we can and cannot talk about.
You
So I
might
understand
have
it.
slightly squatted. We ducked.
I'll say this: because I know some of the people that are involved in the
Serenity now.
organization. If there are any brothers out there who are interested in joining this club, hit me up, and I will put you in contact with the correct individuals. We'll try to find the right club for you.
There you go.
You're
I
more
was
like
trying
a-
not to laugh. That's why that was a good one. Let's see here. Why are you writing on the Facebook? Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Paul said hello, and I said hello. Is it me you're looking for?
I thought you were like, hello, is it me? you're
Yeah,
looking
that was
for?"
I was
That's
implying.
the
Yeah.
joke.
I got it.
Been alone
Um,
with you.
please don't start. Your president is Brian Adams,
Yes.
and that's
the rock and roll stuff.
he's actually out of what Federal 17?
Yeah.
Federal 17, which is
Brian Adams
in
has been a Mason and a Widow's Son since the summer of '69. And I don't know if you guys heard, but it was the best years of my life.
That cuts like a
It
knife.
cuts like a knife.
Back in the summer of
It's
'69.
almost like he had a one-night love affair or something.
oh my.
It's only love.
Matthew Butt says, it goes back to the debate of should you wear a tux suit to lodge, not to judge a man by his appearance, but by his actions, the square and the angle of his work. Basically, he's talking about the cuts and all that stuff. So I personally don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't either.
There's many lodges in the state that actually don't have any, again, Morningstar Lodge up here, we do suits. We do tuxes. That's our protocol. But there's many. I get this one little gnat that's flying around.
Yeah, we have fruit flies.
We have fruit
It's like
flies.
an infestation.
But we have no fruit.
Yet we have no fruit.
Go figure.
I'm not
We
touching.
have raw cucumbers
I'm
apparently.
not touching that one.
But
Not anymore.
But
yeah,
Danny
not since
took
Brother
them.
Danny ate them all.
Back on what I was saying. But there are many lodges in the country, all over the place that are casual lodges.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. And again, if that's the lodge's etiquette and that's what they want to wear, that's their thing. That's their lodge. That's their thing. And to me, I like the suit and tie. I like the tuxedo because I think it's very professional and it shows us off. Because again, I've made the comparison. Oh, look at the cat drag then.
No. Is this a ghost I see?
Look who's decided to join us tonight.
Of course, he showed late. He's like, Grand
Well,
Lodge.
I told him
Grand
he
Lodge
should.
hasn't kicked the door in yet because the Widows Sons are up there, so I guess I'm safe.
I told him he should show up when he does. He was stuck in traffic.
I'll gladly show up at 7:30 for a podcast that starts at 6.
Yeah, except I sent out a thing saying I wasn't
Worshipful
coming.
Brother Jack is in the house.
Leaving me hanging over here.
So let's back on what I was saying. Lodges are casual. Okay, that's their etiquette. We up here, in many lodges in the state of Connecticut, and I'm sure all over the place, do suit and tie. That's the protocol. That's their etiquette. That's what they do. For me, I love the fact of when you go out in public and you're wearing your name badge and you're wearing a nice suit, it's not something that's common anymore.
And we're in city lodges
Yeah,
too,
we're in
right? If
city,
you go out in like
right.
a rural area or something where everybody's
be
getting
wearing-
off work and they're in the fields, well, and you're that's just
Right.
the way it is.
Absolutely.
You'll be wearing overalls at the farm degree.
I will be wearing overalls. I don't own a pair. I'm going to have to buy them now. Damn it.
Oshkosh. I'd recommend Oshkosh for you.
See,
Liberty.
right
I
worshipful
walked
brother,
right into that.
right
one.
worshipful
I-
brother Marty said he would be up here, but
Right.
unfortunately he can't because he's actually doing his job as a secretary.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
So remember how we were talking earlier about
Yeah.
petition,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know.
Morningstar Lodge
Yeah,
for
I
a
know.
particular brother?
It's
Juan
back-to-back
Sepulveda
shots.
is watching.
Who?
Juan Sepulveda is watching us right now.
Oh,
From the
Oh,
Masonic
brother
Roundtable.
awesome. Hi, Juan.
Little
Brother Juan?
podcast crossover there.
Awesome. So, again, trying to drive what I'm saying here. So, you have casual lodges. Okay, that's their etiquette. I like the fact that we go downstairs to a bar, to a restaurant. I've said it before. We go to a bar, we go to a restaurant, we're in suits. We draw attention. When you wear, especially when you wear a tux, you draw attention. And it gets people like, oh, what's that all about? Like, oh, they're wearing tuxes. I want to see what that's all about. I want to learn about it. And that's a selling point for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very similar to the cut. Because some people they have a motorcycle. They're not part of any motorcycle club. But they've always thought, I'd like to join, but I sure ain't going to join that club, or I'm not going to join that club. But now they come in with a Masonic emblem on them, and it's a bunch of bikers, and then, hey, what are you guys? Oh, we're Masons, but we're bikers. This is what we do. It's a selling point.
Yeah.
And I've always said that, yes, Freemasonry doesn't recruit. Yes, Freemasonry doesn't sell its product. It's not a product to us. It's a way of life. It's a way we are. But we are going to freaking look for people who fall in this particular category. So if we're in suits, I like wearing suits. I like dressing up nice from time to time. It's a selling point.
The first thing I get asked whenever I walk into a restaurant or a bar after a Masonic degree and we're all wearing tuxedos is who got married. And I'm like, okay. And then I have to explain the whole thing about
And actually,
fraternity.
Brother Juan, sorry, I mean, I just wanted to add because we were talking about it before. He said, I have plenty of Widows Sons brothers who wear their leather to ride, but dress impeccably to lodge.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's. I'm sure if you went back to daytime lodge, you're going to be in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wear a tie, right? Are you a tie guy or no?
No,
I didn't think so.
I don't wear ties.
But you do. You will wear a shirt and slacks.
Oh, I wear the whole suit. Yeah.
Right.
In Naugatuck, George, sorry to butt in, but we have a couple brothers that belong to Widow's Son as well, and I've seen a couple of them come to a lodge meeting with their cut on over their suit. So they literally get to the lodge, they take their cut, they hang it up in the coat closet, and they're in a suit.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
You ride in
Well,
with your cut over a suit.
the whole
Agreed.
purpose of the cut originally was to protect your body.
Yeah.
So if you're coming to a lodge meeting in a suit, you know damn well you're a rider. Have you ever? First, I gotta ask: have you ever spilled?
No.
Have you never spilled off the bike?
No.
But I imagine it hurts like a bitch when you do, right?
I would imagine so.
A suit is not going to last very long,
No.
especially if you're on a highway going fast and everything. So imagine a brother on his way to lodge, okay, wearing a suit, on his bike, wants to ride his bike to lodge. I mean, it's summertime. Why the hell not? You know, what is the problem with him wearing the cut over the top of the suit? Nothing.
No.
Because in effect, that cut protects it in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully he's wearing a helmet too. But if he's not, you know, not everybody wears helmets. So, I'm sure Joe.
Go ahead. I knew a hair comment was coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was
Go ahead.
coming, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it alone.
Come on, I've been taking shots at you all night.
I can't. But therein lies my point. Like, there's nothing wrong with wearing the cut. I've never had a problem with a Mason showing up to lodge wearing the cut. I was actually in shock when you said, "Yeah, I'm not wearing it into the building." Wow, like shit. I was in shock. I really was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." So, all right, let's get to the last questions, and we're going to lock this one up. But Paul Kuzil, if I butcher your name, I already butchered our guest's name. I do it quite frequently. I think actually the first time Jack came up here, I forgot his name altogether. There was a hell of a blooper on Discord where I was like, and with us tonight, we have worshipful brother.
That guy.
Lost it.
Please state your name.
From what the hell lodge are you from again?
Let me shut this off and start over again. Anyway, Paul Kutil, if I butcher your name, I apologize. My lodge is Widow's Sons Lodge number 66 in Brantford, and they are suit and tie and tux.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's your captain, right?
That's the road captain.
Road captain. Awesome. Let's see here. Greg Schultz, George makes you look smart.
I'm VP now.
Who's he talking about?
Thinking he might be saying that when you wear a suit, it makes you look smarter.
It makes me look smarter.
I think.
It's up for debate.
Until he talks.
Perception is reality.
Paul also wrote, I look like the defendant in a suit. Let's see here.
That's true. We probably all look like defendants when we wear our suits.
Greg Schultz said he wears a tuxedo T-shirt.
That guy's in.
And Juan is signing off. Thank you, Juan, for popping
Thanks, Juan.
on. We appreciate
Bye.
it. It's awesome. I love when we have podcasts.
Little
Passover.
intermingling.
There, he's from Masonic Roundtable, or actually, he's all three of them.
TMR,
Right?
and he's Winding Stairs. I
He's
believe,
Winding
too,
Stairs,
and
yeah. He's
one other one. I can't remember.
right, but he says he's got low battery. He's gonna travel safe and catch up with us later. I love when we have a podcast bleed over. I think it's really cool.
It's cool.
And I actually talked to Mike the intern earlier today. We were going back and forth.
Padcast.
So what's up? What'd I say?
Padcast.
Did I say podcast?
Yeah.
I was going to let it slide.
Carlo's not going to let it slide.
No.
That's all right. We have something in store for Carlo.
Right.
Yes, we do.
He's going to get the Puppet George
And
interview
actually-
treatment.
We're gonna shut this down because we're actually running a little short, but we'll shut this down.
That's a surprise.
We're
You're-
running low
you're
on
running a
Crab
little short.
Rangoon over there or something.
No, Crab Rangoon's all good.
Oh, okay. Well, then we got to shut it down.
Yeah, this is a relatively short one, but you know what? Thank you for the information. And if anybody wants to join Widow Sons, how do they reach you?
If you want, you can put my cell phone up there.
No, I'm not putting your cell phone on there. I'm talking about like talk to a Widow Son brother. How do you like? Let's say there's a person who wants to join Widow Sons. He's a biker, but there's nobody in his lodge, or he doesn't know anybody who's a Widow Son. Is there like on the Gray Lodge where you can join a link? that you know of, or something along those lines?
I honestly don't know.
Don't
I never had to do it.
All right.
I would think maybe
I just-
talk to a brother in your lodge, because there's probably one that at least knows somebody who's in the Widows Sons.
And I know that there is definitely
I know there's a
Widows
couple
Sons website.
There is a
I have
website,
seen
but I
it.
haven't
I got a better idea.
seen any.
If you are a Mason, Master Mason, correct?
Yes.
And you have to be a Master Mason to be a Widow's Son.
Yes.
If you are interested in being a Widow's Son, get a hold of me. And
I said that earlier, but you guys were like doing your
I got freaking
doing your Joe versus George thing, and
I
Carlo
got-
and I were talking about that. And I
Yeah.
said, contact me, and I'll hook you up.
I
with
got Barry Manilow over here.
show.
whatever. Contact George.
Get a hold of me. Get a hold of me through Facebook Messenger or something like that, or however. Get a hold of me, and I'll point you in the right direction. So, all right. So we're gonna shut this down for the free. I want to thank. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Fill your cannons.
One more, right?
Boy.
We got one more.
because of this- uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is not good.
Uh-oh.
We need.
All right. We'll get the big. We'll get the big guns.
What was the? There was what were the two that were left? Oh, okay. Might as well. You get the smooth one because you have a lung infection.
Son of a.
I switched it out.
Because
No,
it's
you
my
can switch it
show.
back. You can switch it back.
You get the cheap stuff. I'm going top shelf.
Actually, no. Stop. Actually, you know what? Yeah, fill mine. But
Oh yeah, because you're.
I'm not feeling good, so yeah, I'll take the one. I was gonna mess with them, and yeah, give me that. That's fine. Because I don't want to mix cups. So not that I'm sick. Oh, come on.
That was a mistake. This liquid is a lot less viscous than I thought it was. That's
God, you're gonna
my
murder me.
mistake.
I'm not drinking this whole thing. I'm taking a sip out of this.
There, I did better the second time.
Jesus.
Jack?
I don't know.
Clean one for you
Large
here.
watching.
Oh Jesus! I said I wasn't getting here on time.
I wanted to come after the toast. Damn it.
While we're filling our cannons, I want to say, Joe,
What?
I love you like a brother, man.
Are you beating me up as we're doing this?
I'm not beating you up. No.
Am
I
getting
just
you?
want to thoroughly apologize for the thrashing I gave you earlier today when you were defenseless.
That's
you were,
okay.
You were at work. You were busy, and
in meetings.
in meetings, and
Meetings to have meetings.
I once I realized that you were out
That was
of
defenseless.
commission.
You hit a
were
defensive receiver.
I was I was beating you up pretty hard,
It's okay.
and it was pretty
okay.
funny. So
I
if you're
understand.
interested, go on the Freemasons podcast fan community page. Join the community page, and I beat up Joe pretty hard.
And I understand you had an accomplice who will
I did have an
have
accomplice.
his day of reckoning.
I have an accomplice who does who has whatever it is, face hole or whatever it's
Just
called.
remember, my soul is in a hateful state. It's
And
like
uh,
Delaware.
He will atone. for
I
his
I will just
sins.
say-
He will have his day of reckoning.
I put up on the community page. It was a bunch of pictures. And again, if you want to join the community page, answer the damn questions. You can be part of it.
Right.
And I basically put I think I wrote the lost photos of Charles Island.
Yes. Don't give out any more. Let him
And,
join the page.
Yeah.
But I also want to announce today is a special day other than what we're going to toast.
Okay.
Today is August 29th,
Mm-hmm.
1997. Skynet woke up.
No.
No.
There we go.
There is no fate.
There is no fate but what we make. There we go. All right. Ken, lead it. You were the one who brought it. You were the one who brought it to attention. So lead the toast. Tell us what we're toasting.
What are we toasting? Our
Guest in
my
a
brothers.
birthday.
Our guest, Brother Carlo. Tomorrow is his birthday.
It's true.
Happy birthday, Brother Carlo.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for coming up here.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God.
And now, brethren, right hand arms.
Oh.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire. Good fire. Fire all. Together, brothers. Vivat. 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 Happy birthday, Brother Carlo.
We are going to shut this down, and we're going to move on to a Puppet George, which is not going to be live.
No.
It's not going to be live.
I have to
It's-
review some things with the producers first to make sure that we're okay.
And
Legal counsel.
yeah, we're not going to go live on it, but I will say that if it will be posted on
Patreon.
The
We should throw it on the
Patreon.
Patreon. I haven't thrown a bone to our Patreon folks in a while.
we're going to put it on Patreon. And as
They're
a
gonna
matter of
get a
fact,
bone, all right.
Sunday I was planning on doing a Patreon episode, and again, I had Ebola, so I couldn't do it. But we're going to be doing it on this Sunday, definitely,
Okay.
for sure. We're going to be doing a podcast episode. So, all right, for the Freemason podcast, I'm your host, Right Worshipful Brother George Marjorie, signing off.
Worshipful Brother Joe signing off.
Worshipful Brother Ken signing off. Your turn.
Oh,
Brother
Hey,
Carlo.
Brother
Carlo.
Signing off.
Worshipful Brother Jack.
No, you don't get to sign
See,
off.
he pointed at
You
me.
don't get to
He
sign
pointed
off.
at me.
You don't get to sign
You
off.
came
you
late.
get to sign off. You were late.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, we're still live. We're going to shut down the live feed.
Sorry, Jack.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate
Good night,
it.
brother.
Good night, all.
These
Good night, all.
5:30, I don't get.
I know. Today was